Hello student, welcome back to biology class. And then the next lesson about enzyme, I would like to explain about which factor that affect enzyme action. So there are four factors that can affect the activity of the enzyme, which is the first is the concentration of the enzyme itself. The number two, it is about the concentration of the substrate in the chemical reaction. And number three is about the temperature and then the pH of the reaction. First, we talk about the enzyme concentration. So as you can see in the graphic in here, that this is the graphic that will be telling you, which is the effect of the enzyme concentration to the rate of the reaction. We can see in here that the more enzyme that present in the reaction, the more rate can be achieved. So why it is can be happen? This can be happen because the more enzyme available in the system, meaning that the more active site available to be bound to the substrate. So as long as there enough substrate is present in the reaction, the enzyme will be bind or will be filled with the active site of the enzyme will be filled with the substrate, so they can speed up the chemical reaction. So as you can see in here, yeah, the more enzyme available, the more active site available to bind to the enzyme. That's why there will be the linear increase of the rate of the reaction, meaning that the reaction can become faster. So the linear increase will be continue as long as the sufficient substrate is available in the reaction. So as long as there is sufficient substrate available, the initial rate of the reaction will be increased linearly with the enzyme concentration because the more active site available to bind with the substrate. But if the amount of the substrate is limited, at certain point, the activity of the enzyme will become decreasing, and then they will become constant because the amount of the substrate become the limiting factor. So this kind of the curve, it is applicable if there is no limitation of the substrate, meaning that the substrate concentration, it is continuously available in the solution. So in the enzyme concentration, the more enzyme present, meaning the more active site will be available for the substrate to bind or to slot into. So as long as there is the plenty of the substrate available, the initial rate of the reaction will be increased linearly with enzyme concentration. This is, you can see that the graphic number A, we can see in here. Okay, let me to make it bigger. In here, we can see that the catalase enzyme, it is used to catalyze several reaction that they have the same amount of the substrate. Okay, and then but they have this different amount of the enzyme concentration. So as you can see that the more enzyme present, actually the higher the oxygen production. But over time, the oxygen production become constant. Why it is become constant? Because the amount of the substrate already become limited. They already break down into the product. That's why, because there is no substrate again, the activity of the enzyme will become slow down because there is no substrate that available to become the product. But if you see if you just see the initial rate of the reaction, we can see that this is the shape of the curve, which is they will be increased linearly, meaning that as long as there is substrate available in the reaction, the more enzyme that we can give to the reaction, the more active site available, so the higher the initial rate of the reaction. Then number two, it is about the effect of the substrate to the activity of the enzyme. Now, as you can see in here that the more we give the substrate into the reaction, initially the rate of the reaction become higher, yeah, because the more substrate you give in the reaction, meaning that the active site of the enzyme can be bind with the substrate more, so they can speed up the chemical reaction faster. But as you can see in here that when we increase the substrate over, if we increase the substrate more and more, but we don't increase the number of the enzyme present, over time the reaction will become saturated or become constant. Why? Because if we increase the amount of the substrate without increasing the amount of the enzyme, the active site will be full with the enzyme. The active site of the enzyme all will be full with the substrate. Okay, so when the active site already all full with the substrate, active site becomes saturated, and no further addition of the substrate will be alter the rate of the reaction. Okay, so I will repeat. So initially in the reaction, if you give more substrate to the reaction, the enzyme will be speed up the chemical reaction more because more substrate available to bind with the enzyme. But at the same point, if you continuously to increase the substrate concentration without increasing the number of the enzyme in the reaction, the active site of the enzyme will be full of the substrate. As the consequence, the more you give the substrate, there will be no effect because there is no available active site that can bind to the substrate. That's why the rate of the reaction become constant. And this is what we call as the point of the active site saturation. So as you can see in here that initially, the more substrate molecule that we give in the reaction, the more often an enzyme active site can bind with the substrate. But if we go increasing the substrate concentration without increasing the number of the enzyme, in the one point, the enzyme will be saturated with the substrate. So the active site is full and there is no active site that is empty again to bind with the substrate. So the enzyme cannot work faster and the substrate will be queuing up for the active site to become vacant. So when they already reaching this point, when the rate of the reaction become constant, meaning that this is uh, the maximum rate of the enzyme in this system, yeah, or we call it the Vmax, the maximum rate of the enzyme in this system. So let's see the exam tip. If substrate concentration is continuously increased, but the enzyme concentration is keep constant, there actually coming a point where the active site of the enzyme, it is already full with the substrate. So at this point, the substrate molecule need to be queuing for the active site to become available to bind with the with the enzyme. At this stage, the enzyme is working at its maximum possible rate that we call as the Vmax. Then we see about the effect of the temperature to the enzyme action. So you can see in here, this is the shape of the effect of the temperature to the rate of the reaction. So going to the from the left to the right, the temperature become increase, yeah, and this is also the rate of the reaction. As you can see in here, at the low temperature, the activity of the enzyme to catalyze reaction is very slow. And then when you increase the temperature, the activity of the enzyme will become increased until they reach a point of the maximum rate of the reaction. But if you continue to increase the temperature, the activity of the enzyme will be slowed down and then they will be stopped in the certain temperature. So let's explain the meaning of this graph. So initially, why the rate of the reaction it is slow? Because as I already tell you before that how the enzyme can speed up the chemical reaction, it is the enzyme need to bind with the substrate. Binding of the substrate and then the enzyme, it is need the collision between substrate and then enzyme. The collision can be happen because enzyme and then the substrate they have the movement, they have the kinetic energy. So when they moving, they can collide with each other. When they collide with the sufficient energy, they can bind, and then the enzyme uh, can making the orientation of the substrate in the certain certain arrangement. That's why they can help to speed up the chemical reaction. However, as you can see, one way of us to how we can increase the kinetic energy of the particle is by giving more heat or giving more increase the temperature or giving more heat. Because the more heat energy that we give to the reaction, the heat energy can be converted to the kinetic energy. If the heat it is too low, which is that the temperature is too low, there is not enough kinetic energy between the substrate and then the enzyme. So as the consequence, they're moving slower and they cannot collide with each other, or they collide with the lesser probability. And when they collide, they will be collide with the lesser energy. That's why the activity of the enzyme becomes low, because low kinetic energy, yeah, they cannot collide, and then low a little substrate can bind to the enzyme active site. When you increase the temperature, the heat energy can be used to increasing the kinetic energy of the particle. So they can move faster, and then the probability of them to collide become faster. So when they collide with the sufficient energy, the active site of the enzyme can bind with the substrate. Then when you increasing the temperature, the rate become maximum, yeah, because a lot of enzyme can bind to the substrate, yeah, and then they can speed up the chemical reaction. But when you increase the temperature more than the optimum temperature, the activity becomes slow down. Why? Because when you increase the temperature more, the kinetic energy of the particle become increased. And it is not only making the molecule moving faster, but if you remember that enzyme is made by atom that bonding with each other. The more heat that you give to the system, not only making the protein they can move, but also the atom between the bonding in the enzyme itself, they can also do vibration. So when they do vibration with the high speed and with the high energy, there is reaching the point when the bonding between the atom in the enzyme itself can break. So when the bonding between the atom in the enzyme is break, the enzyme become change the shape. So the active site become change shape, and then they will be less fit into the substrate. When they change the shape and then they become less fit to the substrate cannot bind to the active site. That's why the activity of the enzyme become slow down. And then the more you give the heat, the more vibration between the bonding in the protein will happen. And then you will be reaching the point where all the active site will be change the shape, so they can not completely bind with the substrate, and as the consequence, the activity of the enzyme falls to the zero, because no enzyme now that can bind to the substrate, because it happen something that we call the denaturation of the enzyme. Okay. So let's visit the exam tip. When answering question about the reaction rate for enzyme catalyst reaction, make sure to explain how the temperature affect the speed at which the molecule, which is the enzyme and substrate, are moving, and how this in turn affect the number of the successful collision. Okay. So if you remember what is denaturation, yeah, basically the bonding, which is the example like hydrogen bond that holding the enzyme molecule in its precise shape start to break. So this is cause the 3D structure or the tertiary structure of the protein become change. So when the 3D structure change, it is can permanently damage the active site and preventing the substrate from binding to the enzyme. And denaturation has occurred, so substrate cannot bind to the active site and the activity of the enzyme become zero. That's why for the human body, our optimum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So if the temperature exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, it will be very dangerous for us because this can cause the denaturation of the enzyme. Nah, even though we're always talking about that a human has the maximum, has the optimum temperature of the 37 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean that all organism has the 37 degrees Celsius as the optimum temperature. Some, like the bacteria that live in the hot spring area, they will be have the higher optimum temperature compared to the human. And then some bacteria that live in the glacier or in the cold area, they will have the lower optimum temperature than human. So it is depend on the organism and where they live. It is we can know the optimum temperature for that organism. And then another factor that can affect the enzyme activity it is the pH. Yeah, so we can see in here that this is several enzyme. Yeah, that maybe we can found in our digestive system, like pepsin and trypsin. Same, they are proteins, but they are working in the different area in our digestive system. So the maximum, the optimum pH of the pepsin enzyme to work, it is acidic, which is 2. But for the trypsin enzyme, it is 8, which is it is alkaline. So if you are put the pepsin in the more alkaline condition, as you can see in the graphic, the activity will be decreasing. And then at some point, it is will become 0. And the same thing, if you put the trypsin more neutral or the acidic condition, the activity of the trypsin will be decreasing. Okay. So now let's we learn why pH can affect the activity of the enzyme. So we know that we have the three kind of the pH, which is acidic, alkaline, and then the neutral. If it is acid, yeah, it is below 7. Neutral, it is 7, the pH, and alkaline, it is more than 7. So what's actually the pH? So the pH, it is basically measuring how many hydrogen ions that it is located or access in the solution. Nah, pH is a measure of the concentration of the hydrogen ions in a solution. The lower the pH or the more acidic the solution, meaning that the higher the hydrogen ion concentration. Now, what is the importance of the hydrogen ions? So if you remember that enzyme is a protein, and enzyme, the protein is made by the amino acid. Amino acid has the R group, and R group they has their own charge. Some will be positive, some will be negative, some will be hydrophobic, some will be hydrophilic. And then basically the hydrogen ion in the solution, which is it is has the relation with the pH of the solution, the hydrogen ion can interact with the R group of the amino acid. So they can affect the degree of the ionization of the amino acid. So they can affect the negative or positive charge of the amino acid. So when they can affect the negative or the positive charge of the R group or in the amino acid, they can affect the ionic bonding between the R group of the amino acid. So if you remember, the R group of the amino the tertiary structure of the protein is also affected by the ionic bonding. So they can be folded. So when the ionic bonding it is getting disrupted because of the presence of the hydrogen ions in the solution, it is can affect the three-dimensional arrangement of the enzyme molecule. So when it is happen, the shape of the active site may change and reduce the probability of the substrate to fit into the active site of the enzyme. So the pH, which is very different from the optimum pH, can cause denaturation of the enzyme. Okay, so I will repeat that pH is the degree of the how many hydrogen ions in the solution. The more acidic the pH, the more hydrogen ion present in the solution. Hydrogen ions can affect the degree of the ionization in the R group of the amino acid. So they can affect the positive or negative charge of the R group of the amino acid. As you remember, in the 3D structure of the protein, the R group is contribute to the folding of the protein because they have different charge. So if the charge it is changed because the pH of the solution is changed, the 3D shape of the protein can also change the shape. So they become, when they change the shape, the active site cannot bind to the enzyme, to the substrate again, and the enzyme become denatured. So it is important to put them in the optimum pH. So we can control the amount of the hydrogen ion in the solution, so they will not disrupt or they will not affect the uh, positive or negative charge of the R group of the amino acid in the protein. So how you can maintain the pH in your solution when you do the experiment? Because can chemical reaction, they produce the product, and sometimes the product of the reaction can change the pH of the solution. So one way we can maintain the pH in our solution, it is by using the buffer. So buffer solution uh, that prepared before, it is already it is already each of the buffer they have the particular pH, yeah, and then the buffer they can maintain the pH of the system in the constant uh, pH depend on the buffer. Okay, so if we put the buffer in the reacting mixture, we can maintain the pH constant during constant around that value. So if you do the experiment using enzyme and you want to maintain the pH, don't forget to using the buffer solution. Okay, this is the explanation about the factor that can affect enzyme action. So I hope you understand this video, and then you can watch, you can do your worksheet well. Thank you, student.